الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. Respected youth of the Eastern, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Indeed, we are drawing closer towards the month of Ramadan, the month of Quran, the month in which we gain closeness towards our Creator Allah Ta'ala, where we spend the night in ibadat and worship of Allah Ta'ala, and we spend the day in fasting by staying away from food, as well as staying away from our desires, whether it be our halal desires, like that of partaking of food, or whether it be even our haram desires. But before we enter the month of Ramadan, we should always prepare ourselves mentally, physically, so that we can spend our month of Ramadan correctly. Normally, when a person is going to the gym and he does something called a pre-workout, where he warms up his body so that he may manage to go through all the different exercises. So we see when it comes to the month of Ramadan, Allah Ta'ala has made it such that Allah Ta'ala has first put the month of Rajab, then the month of Sha'aban, then the month of Ramadan. So it's our warm-up for the month of Ramadan. So we have this last few days, you can say, of the month of Sha'aban. And it's for us now to, if we haven't yet already, to start putting away all our games, to start trying to focus and turn our attention towards our tilawat of our Quran Kareem, and towards dua and towards istighfar as well. So inshallah, I'll just mention a few things that we can get involved in during this month of Ramadan and as a preparation for the month of Ramadan. The first part, or the first thing that we as youngsters can get involved in as preparation for the month of Ramadan is abundance of istighfar. Why should we make istighfar? Is because we have done so many sins before the month of Ramadan. Now we create that regret within our hearts that, Ya Allah, I have done so much of wrong, but Ya Allah, I know that you are Ghaffar, and I know that within the month of Ramadan, Ya Allah, I will be standing into your court. So Ya Allah, I want to stand in your court in such a condition that my heart is clean and free of all sin. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentions in a hadith, Tuba liman wajada fi sahifatihi istighfarun kathira. The glad tidings be to that person, liman wajada fi sahifatihi, that in his book of deeds, on the day of Qiyamah, it will be found that this person has made a lot of istighfar. Another hadith, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam says, Man lazima al-istighfar, ja'ala Allahu lahu min kulli dhiqin makhraja, wa min kulli hammin faraja, wa razaqahu min haythu la yahtasib. That person who holds on to istighfar, man lazima al-istighfar, ja'ala Allahu lahu min kulli dhiqin makhraja. Allah Ta'ala makes it such that Allah Ta'ala opens up a way in every difficulty for him. So in our times, we are covered up with so much of fitna, so much of gunas. We all want to turn in tawbah, and we all want to gain closeness to Allah Ta'ala. So by us making abundance of istighfar, have it within our hearts that, Ya Allah, I am going to make this istighfar and you are going to open up my doors for me. Because Ya Allah, you are Ghaffar, you are Qahar, Ya Allah, you are also Rahman. So when we make an istighfar, let's hold it within our hearts. That inshallah, if I make abundance of istighfar, this will be a means of all that worry, of all that desires, of all that pain, and all these desires that affects us from leaving us. So let's make that. Let's turn to Allah Ta'ala, and let's try and make an abundance of istighfar. What else we can do is involve ourselves in Durood Sharif. Involving ourselves in Durood Sharif will ease us, will calm our minds, will make things easy. And it will make it such that it will also protect us from disobeying Allah Ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Man salla alayya wahida, sallallahu alayhi ashara. That person who sends one durood upon me, Allah Ta'ala sends 10 thawab upon that person. So in this world, if we were given an opportunity to have a certain amount of money because of a certain action that we do for a person, we would want to help that person just to earn that money or just to earn that reward. For example, our parents come to us and we saw the brand new BMW came out, or brand new car came out, and we really love this car and we really want this car. But our parents set a condition, and our parents set such a condition that only if you do certain actions, then I'll allow, or then I'll buy you this car. Or if you pass your exams, for example, if you pass your exams, then I'll buy for you this car. So we'll make that effort. We'll study hard. We'll put our mind to our work. And then once we got our car, then you got that relief in your heart that you know what, it was my hard work. But Allah has given us that opportunity. That every step that we take, Allah Ta'ala has offered us Jannah. Allah Ta'ala has offered us happiness. And through a simple thing like durood, Man salla alayya wahida. If we cannot manage to read 100, if we cannot manage to read 1,000, let's start off from 10 daily. And inshallah, from there we start building on. And we look at the account of our akhirat getting built. As we know, the month of Ramadan is the month of Quran. So let's also try and involve ourselves in Quran Sharif. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says in a hadith, Man qara'a harfan min kitabillah, falahu bihi hasana. That person who reads one letter of the book of Allah, falahu bihi hasana, then for that person is a reward. وَالْحَسَنَةُ بِعَشْرِ أَمْثَالِهَا. But listen to this reward that Allah Ta'ala has promised us. It grabs our attention. As youngsters, as youth, we always look to challenge ourselves, to gain more, to try to be the best. So Allah has given us that opportunity to be the best. So look at the thawab that Allah Ta'ala has put out there. فَلَهُ بِهِ حَسَنًا. What type of reward Allah Ta'ala will give us? وَالْحَسَنَةُ بِعَشْرِ أَمْثَالِهَا. Such a blessing, such a reward that is multiplied tenfold. This is not from our parents, not a gift from our parents, but this is a gift from none other than our Creator, than Allah Ta'ala. So let's try and read Quran Sharif. Those that are Huffaz will be involved in the Tarawih Salah. Allah Ta'ala make it easy for all of us. Those that are unable to read Quran Sharif, don't feel left out. Don't feel that, you know what, hey, I can't read. I'm shy. Ji, because your reward is even more. Because of that struggle. Look at the reward that Allah Ta'ala has promised you. Ji? So think about it as if your parents are offering you something. And try to work towards it. Try to work towards gaining the closeness of Allah Ta'ala. And finally is our salah. Throughout the year, we find it difficult to perform our 5 times salah with Jamaat in the masjid. But let's make it a starting point. Let's create this in our heart, that this month of Ramadan will be the month of Ramadan where I will now come towards the masajid. If we look at the past, all the young Sahaba radiallahu anh, for example, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anh, all young Sahaba, Hassan bin Hussein radiallahu anh, they were all young Sahaba, but they all made effort to gain closeness towards Allah Ta'ala. And that's a lesson for us as youngsters. That during this month of Ramadan, let's try and perform our 5 times salah daily, without fail. If we amongst a group and we're standing together, and for example it's Zohar time or it's Asr time, let's remind each other. Let's encourage each other. Let's work as a team. If we play in a football match and our defense is weak, unfortunately, we can have the best strikers in the world, but we'll end up losing that match. So in the same way, we can be the best of friends, but the defense and encouragement towards each other to gain closeness to Allah Ta'ala, if it's not done, then unfortunately we are going to get lost. So my brothers, my sisters out there as well, this is a reminder for myself, as we are all youth, we are all young. So let's try and bring these few points that were mentioned. First being that of istighfar, second being that of Durood Sharif, third being that of recitation of Quran Sharif, and fourth being about our salah. I ask Allah Ta'ala to grant me the tawfiq to bring my salah, to bring the tilawat of Quran Sharif, Durood and istighfar within my life first. And then I ask Allah Ta'ala to make it easy for one and all. I ask Allah Ta'ala to make your Ramadan a Ramadan of blessing, a Ramadan of gaining closeness towards Allah Ta'ala, and a Ramadan in which we can change our life for the better. Assalamu alaikum wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.